And I must stop it, because guess what? How if it be cultural appropriation? When you grow up somewhere, you learn language, you learn culture, you learn all these things, and you have to fully embrace it. If anybody come on our way, want come here to come live, whatever they want to do over here, so you have to learn the language, you have to learn culture, you have to learn how to deal with things over here, so. So when me go over Jamaica, grow up over there, so what you want me to do? Speak Norwegian? So what, because I'm white, I can't embrace that? You never know, them have white people at Jamaica.
What's up, family? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. White Jamaicans are being accused of cultural appropriation by people who have never even stepped a foot in Jamaica. Today I'm reacting to videos on cultural appropriation versus appreciation. If you are new here, please consider subscribing. Let's watch these videos until the end, then I'll come back with my reaction. Full credit goes to the original creators of the videos.
How do you feel about this allegation that you are appropriating Jamaican Rastafari culture?
We don't appropriate no culture, man.
The man appears to speak in patois or in the native Jamaican tongue. This is
We don't appropriate no kind of culture, man.
Watch a racist man a chat about him have a Jamaican lady and him hate seeing white girls with black guys. No, sir. You have to watch the people like him, you know. And them are the rotten apple. And them are the imposters. No problem. Me don't want you to like me. Me love myself and my husband love me and my kids. My family alright. Good luck.
Accuse white people of trying to, when they think their whites are trying to act black or wear braids and all that, they accuse them of cultural appropriation.
Yeah.
Have you ever been accused of cultural appropriation?
Every day of my life.
Really?
Yeah, every day of my life. It comes across, and it goes back down to lack of education. And for me, there's a difference with culture appreciation and culture appropriation. Now, the thing about it is, you can appreciate somebody else's culture if you want to.
Right.
You can enjoy someone else's culture. You understand what I mean? Like, you can, if you want to cook Caribbean food, you can cook Caribbean food.
Right.
You don't have to be from the Caribbean to cook the food. If you learn to cook it the right way, you can cook it and enjoy it. If you enjoy it, if that's what you like that. Do you understand what I mean? Now, the problem is, I feel like when you have people who take something from someone else's culture and almost try to make it theirs, like, I am this person, I am the one, it's me, then that is a bit more of culture appropriation, because now you're taking something from somebody else's culture for yourself to gain from it, and they're not getting nothing from it.
But don't you think it's silly for people to be fighting over culture? If somebody want to eat greens and ham hock and they white and they like,
oh yeah, but that's what I'm saying. There's a different level. Yeah, there's a different level of it. There's a different level of it. But when you go to like hairstyles, for me personally, if somebody has a hairstyle, you have a hairstyle.
Right.
It shouldn't really matter if that's from this or that.
Right.
It's a hairstyle.
Yeah, it's
as
just
long
a
as you're
hairstyle.
not insulting the people are as they say, insulting them or making fun of their culture while doing these things, then I don't see no problem with it.
why are most people so easily insulted?
Because we're living in a sensitive world these days as well. You have to understand. As a comedian, I know we're living in a sensitive world.
And why is that though? It hasn't always been that way.
Why? Only these people can tell you that. It's too much rules and regulations these days on everything that you can do and can't do.
I know, huh?
Yeah.
So being a comedian, are you concerned about that?
No, because what I've learned over the years is to make sure that when I perform, I tailor my stuff to myself. So I talk about myself or I talk about my family. So the only people I can upset are them. Their family, so
you don't do black jokes on stage or anything like that?
No. I just talk about general stuff, or I talk about personal stuff. I don't do this. I don't like doing that type of thing.
When I was growing up, and I grew up in Alabama on a plantation.
Okay.
and under the Jim Crow law, I had to pick cotton, plow the fields, milk the cows, and all kinds of things. Have you ever picked cotton?
No, sir.
Man, next time you come here to the country, I'm going to take you to Alabama so you can pick some cotton. You have not lived until you pick cotton.
Yeah?
Oh, have you ever plowed a mule?
What is that?
Hook up a mule to the plow.
Oh, and let them walk with it?
Let him walk. And
I've done a lot of, listen, I'm from Jamaica, so we do a lot of agriculture there.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we learn how to plant vegetables. We learn how to like get them out. We learn how to do farming. We learn how to raise animals. We learn how to turn it to dinner. Like so, we've done all of that. Yeah.
Why did you move from Jamaica to the UK?
So I went over there. I wanted to change just to see. I just wanted to change. Where I live in Jamaica is an area called Black River. It's a very quiet town. Black River was actually was the first place in Jamaica to get electricity as well in Jamaica, so it's got a bit of history there. And what happened is a very quiet town, so a lot of my friends when we were growing up, as they got older and we came out of school, many of them were traveling, some were going to Canada, some were coming to America, so it's like everybody was there was no one really there, so it's like, I want to go England and see, so I went.
That's why I left Alabama too.
Yeah.
And moved to the big city, more opportunities.
That's it, yeah, so more opportunities, and yeah, that's why.
So when you get that example of having a white parent and a black parent, and how that felt, have you ever felt not fit in anywhere? It felt like you didn't fit in?
I always feel like I don't fit in because of people's judgments against me sometimes. But the only time when I do feel like I'm fitting is when I'm around the people, like my friends, around Jamaican friends and that. So there is times where I don't feel fit in, but
what's that feeling like?
I don't care.
Feel like?
I actually don't.
Can you describe that feeling? What that feel like?
I don't care, no. I used to care.
Right, when you used to care about.
Yeah, it's not nice because you always get looked on as not worthy enough to be involved in certain things or be a part of something. So you feel like, what? But I learned over time that to disregard that's the least. That doesn't matter to me.
That's right.
What matters to me is the ones who do care and do embrace, do like me, and I do fit in with. Stick to what you fit into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Jamaica, do you smoke pot? You from Jamaica? You smoke pot?
No. That's a stereotype, man. Not everybody smoke from there.
I thought everyone smoked.
No, man. That's a stereotype. Not everybody smoke from that. Yeah. But
Bob Marley, right?
There's a lot. Yeah, but there's a lot more to Jamaica than just pot or weed.
Is it?
Yeah, there's a lot.
So
more.
how did you avoid smoking pot if you lived there?
Because it's not even legal there.
Oh, it's not?
Yeah, it's not legal to have it. Yeah, exactly. So that's another thing is like people have this stereotype of it but it's not legal. And that's probably happens to a lot of people who travel there. Tourists go there, feel, they live in Jamaica, they buy all this weed, then they try boarding the boats or walk past police and they get arrested.
Wow.
You're not allowed to just be smoking weed.
Of all the places on earth, I thought it was legal in Jamaica.
It's a stereotype that people have put out there.
That's amazing, man. Jamaica had its own language, and it's called
Patois.
Patois.
Yeah, Patois. It's basically broken English. So it's kind of a little bit like how I'm speaking now, but more. If I was to do it, you probably would only hear maybe 2% of what I'm saying. It's very.
So you're not speaking it right now?
No, this is more a media trained one. Yeah, so we learn, Jamaican entertainers, we learn that when we're doing interviews and so on around the world, we have to understand that the viewers might not understand everything you say if you speak in a strong patois. So it's easier for us to learn how to train to, deliver it cleanly and clearly.
Welcome back, guys. This video brings up a topic that always explodes online. Cultural appropriation versus cultural appreciation. Before I agree or disagree with anyone, I want to do what the internet usually doesn't do. Add context, history, and actual facts. Because a lot of accusations around cultural appropriation are not coming from bad intentions. They are coming from missing information. Let's start with definitions. Because if we don't agree on what words mean, then the conversation is already broken. Cultural appropriation is not just using something from another culture. According to psychologists and cultural historians, cultural appropriation usually involves three things. The first one is power imbalance between groups. The second one is taking elements of a culture without context or even respect. And the third is benefiting from those elements while the original group is ignored, mocked, or even punished for the same thing. And that last part is important. A classic example is hairstyles. Black people have historically been punished, criticized, or denied opportunities for wearing natural or traditional hairstyles. But when the same styles show up on white models or influencers, suddenly they become labeled as fashion, trendy, edgy. That's appropriation. Not because of the hairstyle itself, but because of who is rewarded and who is punished. Now, let's talk about what cultural appreciation actually is, because this is where people start confusing the two. Cultural appreciation involves learning, respect, and acknowledging where something comes from. Cooking food from another culture, listening to its music, learning its language, participating without mocking or claiming ownership. That's appreciation. And here is the part people really struggle with. Living inside a culture is not appropriation. Which brings us to Jamaica. One of the biggest misconceptions I see online is the idea that Jamaica is some kind of single identity, single race country. That's not true. Jamaica is a multiracial, multi-ethnic society shaped by centuries of history. It includes people of African descent, European descent, Indian, Chinese, Middle Eastern, Jewish, and mixed ancestry. So there are black Jamaicans, there are white Jamaicans, there are Indian Jamaicans, there are Chinese Jamaicans, they are mixed Jamaicans. This is a historical fact. So when people say things like, white people can't be Jamaican, what they are really saying is, I don't know the Jamaican history. And this is where the cultural appropriation accusation completely falls apart. White Jamaicans are not tourists. They are not visitors borrowing a culture. Many of them were born there. They were raised there, educated there, surrounded by Jamaican culture from birth. So they didn't take the culture. They were formed by it. That is fundamentally different from someone putting on an accent for clout and dropping it when it's inconvenient. A white Jamaican speaking patois is not performing. For many of them, it's literally what they grew up speaking. Now, let's talk about Jamaican patois for a second. People often call it broken English, but that's not accurate in a linguistic sense. Jamaican patois is a Creole language. It has its own grammar, its own sentence structures, and its own internal rules. Linguists recognize that Creole languages develop naturally over time. And the comedian makes an important point that a lot of people misunderstand. When Jamaican entertainers do international interviews, they often moderate their speech. That's not fake, and that's not code switching for attention. That's because global audiences usually can't fully understand patois. So entertainers adjust so that they can be understood. And that's communication, not cultural betrayal. Another stereotype that the video addresses is the idea that everyone in Jamaica smokes weed. That's false. Marijuana is decriminalized, not fully legal. So public use can still come up with penalties, and plenty of Jamaicans don't actually smoke at all. So this stereotype mostly comes from tourism marketing, the pop culture, and the exaggerated portrayal of the Rastafarian culture. Reducing an entire country to one habit is not appreciation. It's flattening. So why do accusations like this keep happening? Why do white Jamaicans constantly get told they are appropriating their own culture? There are a few reasons. One, American ratio framework gets applied globally, even when they don't fit. So two, people judge culture by skin color instead of upbringing. And three, a lot of people mean well, but they just don't know the history of Jamaica. So instead of asking questions, they jump straight into accusations. And the result is ironic. People who actually belong to the culture get told that they are stealing it. The comedian also talks about being careful with jokes. And that reflects something bigger happening right now. Comedians are avoiding cultural topics not because they hate people, but because the nuance doesn't survive short clips. When you speak only from personal experience, it should be safer. But even that is not always enough anymore. Here is the takeaway I want people to really sit with. Cultural appropriation is about power, exploitation, and erasure. It is not about the skin tone alone. And when we accuse people without understanding context, we don't protect culture. We are actually erasing it. White Jamaicans are not appropriating Jamaican culture. They are part of it. And the more stories we hear from black Jamaicans, white Jamaicans, mixed Jamaicans, the reality becomes clearer. So thank you so much guys for watching up to this point. Please, if you haven't done that, kindly subscribe. Also share and like the video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.